Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is YAHMAD. We're going to be looking at another paper 3 exam today from October-November 2017 from the CIE ICT IGCSE course. Okay, so this is a practical examination, 2 hours and 30 minutes long. This paper includes a data analysis section, which is Spreadsheets, and a website authoring section, which is Adobe Dream Mover. So we're going to be looking first at Spreadsheets. Okay, so before we can start the task, we need to open the evidence document. So 173 evidence.rtf. So let's have a look. Okay. So make sure your name, center number, candidate number appears on every page of your evidence document by placing these details in the header. Okay, so let's go to the evidence document, insert, header, and now we can insert our candidate details. So my name, center number, candidate number. Okay, and save this as a word process document in your work area with the name 173 evidence followed by your candidate number. So let me just copy this. Oops. And when you are saving this document, make sure you save it as a Word document. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Save. Okay, so we will be coming back to this document to place some screenshots or evidence. So we will be using the evidence document during the examination to enter answers to questions and to place your screenshots as mentioned just now. Okay, so let's have a look at the spreadsheet section. Okay, so let's have a look at the description. So you work for the Cozumel Tourist Board, who use a spreadsheet to analyze data about cruise ships, passengers in the Caribbean. Use the most efficient methods in your work. Okay, for question 1, we need to open and examine the files 173cruise.csv and 173locations.csv in a spreadsheet package. So we're going to be using Microsoft Excel today. So if I go to the folder, let's open up the first file. Okay, and let's open up the second file. So the second sheet, the location sheet, includes data which could be used as part of a lookup. Okay, let's go to the cruise. Okay, and the first thing we should be doing is open up each column and looking at the data we have in this existing spreadsheet. So as you can see, we have some data. We have some blank cells here and here. So this is where we'll typically have to insert some functions and formulas to complete this spreadsheet. To save the file 173cruise as a spreadsheet. So when you're saving your files, make sure you save your file as an Excel workbook. Remember what I said previously, if you save your file as a CSV, you complete your formulas. If you close down the file, you open it back up again, you will only see the values. So you need to ensure you save your work as an Excel workbook. The file name cruise_, your candidate number, okay. One, two, three, four. Save. So for example, cruise_9999. Okay, so we just completed this. I'll highlight it. Okay, in your cruise spreadsheet, place the text cruise ship analysis. Left align in the header. So if I go to insert, header and footer, left side I need to include this text. Again, make sure is case sensitive, so if it's capital letter, you use capital letters, and lowercase when necessary. So that's on the left hand side in the header of the page. Place your name, center number and candidate number right aligned in the header of the page. Okay, so my name, center number, candidate number. So let me double check, always double check what you're doing. So name, center number, candidate number, right aligned in the header. So by placing these details in the header on every printout, these details will appear on every single page which is printed. Okay, place the text last edited on, followed by today's date, the text at, and then the time automated center aligned in the footer of the page. So place the text last edited on. Okay, so if I go to the footer, center line, last edited on, let's have a look, followed by today's date. Okay. The text at, and then the, okay. And then what we need to do is to include the time. So you'll notice I'm going back and forth to check the question in detail just to ensure I'm not making any mistakes. Center line in the footer of the page. Okay, so that's that done. So now what we can do, we can click on any cell. So last edited on the date and then at the time. So if we click on any cell on the page, we can go to view, normal. Let's scroll up. And before we continue, let's have a look at the print preview. So we've got the title here, Cruise Ship Analysis. We've got the candidate details on the top right, Yasser Ahmed. Then you've got the candidate and center number. Oh, so the center and then the candidate number. And then you got the information at the bottom for the time and the date, center aligned in the footer. So let's save the changes. Let's go to the question paper and let's have a look at question 2. Okay, we have to merge the cells from E2 to F2, so let's have a look. E2 to F2. Let me double check. So merge cells E2 to F2. Okay, so we can merge cells using this icon here. Format this merge cell and the cell G2 so that the text is center aligned. Okay, so we need to make sure the text is center aligned. In a black 16-point sans serif font. So we can increase the size to 16, and sans serif we can choose Arial. Okay, so where's Arial? Okay, so that's that part done. Merge cells A1 to H1. So A1 to H1. Again, we can use the same icon at the top. Format this merge cell so the text is right aligned. Okay, on the right hand side. With a red 20 points, so we can increase the size. Sans serif font. And it has a pale blue background color, so a light blue background color, so that will do. So let me double check. So we merge cells A1 to H1. Yep, A1 going to H1. And the text is on the right side, red 20 points. 20 points red and a sans serif font and a blue background. Yep, I'm happy with that. So let's continue on to the next question. Okay, so let's look at the next question. So in cell B4, okay, enter a function to look up the name of the cruise ship's destination from the content of the file 173 locations. Okay, so what we need to do is going to be a vertical lookup because we're going to be going down. Okay, and we need to use the contents of this sheet to look up the destination. Okay, so equal v lookup. I think the code here matches with the content on this sheet here, so we can highlight the whole table. Because it's an external sheet, you'll notice the cell range, the table array has automatically been absolute cell reference, so that means when I drag down or replicate the VLOOKUP in the other sheet, this cell range will stay in the same place. So the next part is the column index, so we want to look in the second column to get the location or destination, and we want an exact match. So what that means, if the code is ZAM, the output will be Zambia, which is in the second column. Okay, let's press enter. So before I replicate this function, let me just check. So ANT should give me Antigua and Barbuda, which is the correct answer. So I'm just going to drag this down or replicate this down. Okay, and that's that complete. In cell F4, enter a formula. So let's have a look at cell F4. So a formula, okay. And what do we need to do? To calculate the average number of visitors a month for this destination, round it down to the nearest visitor. Okay, so let's have a look at the spreadsheet now. So basically what we need to do, we need to divide the contents of this cell here, visitors for this period, by the contents of this cell here. So it's going to be a formula which we're going to enter. So it's going to be basically, as you can see here, the clues in the titles, average visitors slash month. Okay, the slash is for division. So equal this cell here divided by the month. Okay, so this is a formula. Enter. Now the second part of the question is to calculate the average number of visitors a month for this destination, rounded down to the nearest visitor. So we need to make it into an integer value. So what we can do is we can click before or after the equal sign, and we can type in int. So it rounds a number down to the nearest integer, that's what we want. And we can close the bracket, and then we can press enter. So now we have an integer number. It does not contain any numbers beyond a decimal point. Okay, so in cell H4, so now let's look at H4. Again, we're going to enter a formula to calculate the percentage change in the number of visitors between 2014 and 2015. Okay, so to work out the answer for this question, we need to look at the visitors from 2015. So I'm just going to highlight this cell yellow for now. And we also need to have a look at the visitors from 2014. So if we go back to the question, we need to calculate the percentage change in the number of visitors between 2014 and 15. So the first thing we need to do is basically work out what is the difference between the visitors from 2015 and the visitors from 2014. So we can enter a simple formula to subtract the values. Okay, so we basically, by minusing E4 minus G4, we can work out the difference in regards to the number of visitors. Okay, so the difference number of visitors was 50,139. So what we need to do now is to work out the percentage change in the number of visitors between 2014 and 15. So we can do this by, first of all, let's put this into brackets, and then we need to divide by this cell here, G4, to work out the percentage change. Okay, so what we can do is change this cell into a percentage formatting, and as you can see, the change is 19%. I'm just going to take the colors off. Okay, so just to recap, we had to find the difference between visitors in 2015 with 2014, so we had to subtract this value from this cell here, and then we put that into a bracket, so whatever the answer of that was then divided by the contents of this cell here, 2014, to work out the difference amount of visitors from 2014 to 2015. So obviously we can see there was an increase, so change was 19%. Okay, so we've done question 6. Replicate the formulae entered in steps 4 and 6 for each destination. So that simply means we just have to drag down the formulae. So first of all, it was this one here, and then this one here. Okay, you'll notice you got minus 17 here, for example, and that's because we had more visitors in 2014 than we had in 2015, so we have a negative value. Okay, so apply appropriate formatting to your spreadsheet. So the appropriate formatting would probably be the percentage sign, so this has been properly formatted. Let me just have a look at the rest of the data. Yep, I'm happy with the data I can see. Save your spreadsheet and print a spreadsheet showing a formula. So I'm going to save. I'm going to go to formulas, show formulas, and like I said, what we need to do before we print, we need to check to see if all the formulas are visible. Okay, we need to make sure the columns are sized accordingly. So what you don't want to print and half your VLOOKUP is missing. So it's really important you're looking to see if all of the formulas are showing in full. So we're going to, let's go to file and print first of all. Okay, the first thing we need to change is to landscape. Okay, which you've done. Normally when you do print the formulas, you've got to include the row and column headings. So that's the letters and the numbers. So if you go to no scaling, custom scaling options, sheet, you need to tick the box which includes row and column headings. Okay. And the contents of the cells are fully visible. So yeah, we can see all of the information. So what we can do, we can fit a sheet or one page so we can include all of the data. Okay, let me just check if there's anything else. So print out one. Make sure you've entered your name, center number and candidate number on your spreadsheet showing a formula. So let me check the headers and footers for the appropriate details. As you can see, my name is in the top right, so we can send this one to the print. So that's your first printout. So we've got the VLOOKUP, and then we've got two formulas here. Okay, so let's take the formulas off. Now the second printout is we have to print all the spreadsheets showing the values. So here we have the values, and again let's just size the columns accordingly so we can see all of the information. Okay. So what we need to do is print the values, fits on a single portrait page. So let's go to file and print. We don't need to include the row and column headings typically when we print in a value, so I'll take the row and column headings off. Let's go to a portrait page. Okay. So, yep, I've taken off the row and column headings. So these are only normally used when printing the formulas off, and the contents of the cells are fully visible. Yep, I can see all of the information is fully visible. Title, name, time is still there, and then we can send this one to the print. So this is your second. Okay, now we're going to be having a look at question 11. So for question 11, new data has just arrived for Barbados in March and the British Virgin Islands in April. Edit the data in the spreadsheet to show these changes. So let's first of all look at Barbados. Okay, so Barbados is this one here. So what's the first piece of data we have to change? Now the month is now March 2015. So it's not Jan to Feb or January to February. It's going to be January to March. We're not going to say March. If you look at the other examples, we're going to write MAR, which stands for March. Okay, so that's now 3 months. Okay, a number of visitors. So we had an extra 70,041 visitors during this period. So what I need to do, I need to add this data to what we already have here. So we have 146,520 visitors, and we need to plus 70,041 visitors. So what we can do, we can have a plus sign and an equal, which will work out the new visitors for this period. Okay, so as you can see, these values here have changed. If I go backwards, you'll notice it was 9% before. So with the increase, it's gone to 34%. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to copy and paste this and paste it back as values. Okay, so we lose the formula, but we just keep the value. Okay, so that's the first one. So let's look at the next one which we need to be looking at. So the British Virgin Islands, which is this one here. Okay, now we go into April 2015. So it's not January to March anymore, it's January to April. So if you look at above, you can see APR, which stands for April. So let's just change that. So APR. Now it's 4 months, so we can change that. Okay, so you'll notice it's 13% the difference. So let's add the extra visitors, so 68,457. So we're minus 13%. So doing exactly the same thing as I did before. Don't need this comma. And then we can insert an equal at the start. So we're going to add the additional visitors what we had previously. And now you'll notice it's gone to 15%. Okay, so that's changed. And again, we can copy and we can paste back in the values to get rid of the formula. Okay, so we have to print the spreadsheet showing the values. So we go to File, Print, Showing the values. Let's have a look at the settings. Single portrait page, row and column headings are not displayed. The contents of all cells are fully visible. So this is a third printout. So again, make sure you've entered your candidate details and you're showing the values. Yep, the candidate details are here in the header. Okay, and yes, we are showing the values, not the formulas. So this is a third printout. I'd send this to print. Okay. Okay, so let's look at question 12. So question 12 in cell E24. So let me have a look where E24 is. If I go down, E24, yep, E24. What do we need to do? Enter a function and calculate the total number of visitors to all destinations in 2015. So we need to enter a function that's going to calculate all visitors in 2015. So we can use the sum function. So equal sum adds all the numbers in a range of cells. That's what we want to do. and we basically want to add up all of the visitors during this period of time in 2015. So I'm going to close the bracket, and that's the total number of visitors in 2015 from this range here. Okay. In cell E25, so let me look at E25. E25, yep, we're already in E25. Enter a function to calculate the average number of visitors to all destinations in 2015. So what we need to do for this question is use the average function using the same range. So equal average, highlight the same range, E4 to E22, enter, and that will basically give you the average visitors during this period. So to all destinations in 2015. Okay. In cell E26, enter a function to calculate the number of visitors to the most popular cruise destination in 2015. Okay, so we want to find the most popular, and as you can see, it's this one here, which is Cozumel, Mexico. So to find the most popular, so if we look at the question again, to calculate the number of visitors to the most popular cruise, we can use the max function. So if I type in equal max, same cruise or same range, okay, and that will return this value here, which is from this trip here to Mexico. Okay, so let's look at question 15 now. So in cell I4, so let me first look at what is in cell I4. So it's a blank cell. Okay, what do we need to do? We need to use a formula to copy the value held in B4. So in B4 we have the destination. So basically we need to use a formula which will copy the contents of this cell into this cell here. So if I type in equal and click on this cell and press enter, you'll see Antigua and Barbuda, I think that's how you pronounce it. Okay, so we've basically replicated the contents of this cell into this cell here, into I4. Okay, replicate the formula for each destination. So then what we need to do is drag down what we've done in cell I4 for all of the cells. So if we go to the corner, we can drag down. So now we've got the same data here that matches up with the data in here. Okay. Right, so let's look at the next part. So in cell E27, so let me see where E27 is. It's this cell here at the bottom. Just let me go down slightly. Okay, what do we need to do? We need to enter a function to return the name of the most popular cruise destination in 2015. Okay, so we know this was the most popular cruise destination. So, and this one was for Cozumel, Mexico. So basically using the max function here, we've worked out this particular cruise or this holiday destination was the most visited during this period of time. Okay, so what we want to find out now is the name of the most popular cruise destination 2015. So we're going to use a VLOOKUP function. Okay, is a VLOOKUP because the data is held in a vertical format, and we're going to use this value as a lookup value. Table array will be here, and we're going to be looking in the first, second, third, fourth, fifth column to get a name, and it's going to be an exact match. So let's go to E27 equal VLOOKUP. If I come up to here, the lookup value, we're looking up this value here, okay, comma, and the table array is going to be from this column, and we're going to go across to destination names. Okay, so we want to lock this in. Okay, I have to do it one by one since it's recording for some reason. It doesn't allow me to use the absolute function shortcut. Right, So that's my table array, comma, and a column which we're going to be looking into to get the destinations in the first, second, third, fourth, fifth column. And what we want is the exact match. So basically what that means is we're looking for this value in this range here. Okay, so this is a lookup value in this table range in the fifth column. So what we want to return is Cozumel, Mexico. So if I press enter, you can see it's returned the correct value. Okay. Okay, for the next question, we have to place appropriate labels in cells D24 to D27. So let's have a look. D24 to D27. Okay, so let's have a look what we did here. This one was basically a total sum of all of the visitors in 2015. So the label which we can include here is total visitors. I'm just going to click up here actually. To all destinations in 2015. Okay, so I'm going to press enter to increase the size of that particular cell. Okay, the next one was the average number of visitors in 2015 to each destination. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to drag this down and change this. So to average visitors, all destinations, or to each destination in not 2016, 2015. Okay, so average visitors to each destination 2015. Okay, does need to be capital V, so drop that down. Okay, the next one was visitors to the most popular destination in 2015. Okay, so visitors to the most popular destination in 2015. Okay, and the last one is the name of the most popular destination. In 2015. So we've included appropriate labels. So like I said before, so this first one was a sum of all of the visitors for 2015. This one was the average visitors to each destination in 2015. The next one was the visitors to the most popular destination in 2015, the most popular being this one here. And the next option was, or the next function we used was a VLOOKUP to find out the name of the most popular tourist destination in 2015. Okay. Okay, so we're going to save, and now we're going to print. Okay, so let's have a look. So let me just click on the blue disk. So what is it we're printing? So we're going to print the cells D24 to E27, which is basically D24 to E27. What do we have to show? Showing a formula. Okay, so we have to change to formulas. Okay, so we can adjust the size of the column. Okay. The row and column headings must be displayed and the contents of these cells are fully visible. So obviously what that means is it's no point in printing like this because you're cutting off half the formula. So ensure all of the data is fully visible. So we only want to print these cells here. So if we go to print, let's select selection. Okay, let's include the row and column headings. So if you go to custom scaling options, so when you are printing formulas, it's normal to include the row and column headings, which includes the letters and the numbers. Okay, there's no specific guidelines on the page orientation, so we can leave it as portrait. Make sure that you've entered your name, center number and candidate number on your spreadsheet showing a formula. So again, we can check our name is here. We can see the column, row and column headings, and we can see we've selected from D24 to E27, and all of the formulas are fully shown, nothing's cut off. So this is the next printout. Okay, so let me just highlight this. Right, so we also have another printout. So print only cells I4 to I22. So let me go to home again. So I4 to I22, showing a formula. Make sure the row and column headings are displayed. The contents of these cells are fully visible. So again, we go to File and Print, because we're only printing these particular cells, I4 to I22. Let me double check. Yeah. So we need to make sure we select the selection to only print what we've highlighted. And again, this would be the next printout. So make sure you can see your name, candidate details. Okay, so this is the next printout. Okay. Printout 5. Question 18. Print all of the spreadsheets showing the values. Okay, so for the next printout, we need to show the values. So formulas, let's take the formulas off. Okay, so before we print, just make sure all of the data is shown in full. There's nothing cut off. Okay, let's have a look down here. As you can see, so all of the data is shown. So print all of the spreadsheets showing the values. Make sure it fits on a single page. So it doesn't say if it's portrait or landscape. So active sheets. I'm going to change to portrait. And on a single page. So what you can do is select this option here, fit the sheet on one page, and because we are printing the values, we don't need to include the row and column headings. So we can take this off. Again, double check to see if all the data is visible, nothing's cut off. Okay, the content of all cells are fully visible, so I've just checked for that. Again, printout 6, we have to check if the name and contact candidate details are shown on the sheet. Yep, so my name is up here. So again, this would be the next printout, so printout 6, and this would be sent to the printer. Okay, for question 19, what we have to do is extract only the data gathered for 3 months. Okay, so extract or interrogate basically means to filter the data. So if I go back to the Excel, what we can do is highlight the top column, row and apply the filter. And what we want to say is basically extract only the data gathered for 3 months. So we click down here, is that 3 or 4, so we can deselect 4. So it only shows the data for 3 months. Okay, sort this data into descending order of percentage change. So what we can do is we can highlight the whole table, custom sort, sort by percentage change, and what do we want to do? Descending order of percentage change. Okay, so the percentage has to go from largest to smallest, so that would make it descending. Okay, as you can see, the highest percentage going to the lowest percentage. Right, for the final printout, what do we have to do? So print only this extract showing the values. Make sure the printout fits on a single page. Contents of all extracted cells are fully visible. Again, we need to ensure, let's have a look, our center number, candidate details appear on each page. So print only this extract. So we can go to File and Print. And again, we can see, it doesn't matter if it's portrait or landscape. I think it would be better to print this off portrait. So we can only show the extracted data, so all of the weeks, months are free, and then we've got a percentage going from highest to the lowest. So this is your final printout. Okay, so let me highlight this. At the end of the exam, make sure all of your printouts are in the correct order. Again, whilst you're printing, always double check for mistakes, and if you have spotted a mistake, fix the mistake and then move on to the next part. If you feel like you have to print again, then go ahead and print again. So we've come to the end of this spreadsheet section from the November 2017 exam paper. Thank you for listening. Please share this video with your friends, like this video, and show your support by subscribing to the channel and put a comment below. Thank you for your time. Hopefully I will be making many more videos like this very soon. Take care.